In this video, we will learn dagger-hilt implementation inside Android Studio project. In order to do that, let's get into the project. But before we going into the project, I have listed some of the points we will be going through. So let me just explain shortly one by one. First one, we will need to add the class path. So we'll go to there and build.gradle in the project level, so we added that line there. Second one is the plugin and the third one is the library, so we will need to add that module level build.gradle file, and that is so the plugin is already added there and the necessary libraries also added there. I just copied these library from another project in order to save time. Let's just sing now. We are getting error because there is another plugin we need to add, and that one is Kotlin kept. So if I just try again, then it will build successfully. So we just completed 3 of the steps. So the fourth one is to create the application level class. I will just name it my application and will extend from the application class, and we just put the hilt Android app annotation. Now we just need to add that class in the manifest application tag as a name my application. So we just completed the fourth step. The fifth one is to have a module class. To do that, I will just simply need a separate package file. I will name it di dagger injection. Now I will create a class. I will object type, it will be a Firebase module. Now we will put annotation on it, install in singleton component dot class. We need to add another annotation which will annotate as module. Now we need to create functions. We need one dependency regarding the Firestore. So I will name it as a provide Firestore instance. To do that, Firestore Firebase Firestore instance, return Firebase Firestore get instance. Now I will add two different annotation. One is provide and second one is singleton, because we need that instance as a singleton. We don't need to create again and again. So that is pretty much regarding the module. The sixth step is Android entry point. Now we need to add that in the activity level, because the Jetpack navigation component host fragment is added in that activity. For that purpose, we need to add annotation above that activity as well. Now we need to add that annotation in the fragments level as well. If we don't need to add that, we will face a runtime crash. Okay, so the seventh step is to have a hilt view model and inject constructor view model. To do that, we will go to the view model and will annotate as a hilt view model. Now to inject the constructor, we simply put annotation before constructor. Here we are. So that is pretty much regarding the dagger-hilt implementation. Now we will run the project to see that if there is any crash happening, then we will see in the logcat. If it's not, then it will consider like working fine. So during Gradle building, I face an error regarding the repository. Now, as you can see in the view model, we have dependency a repository, and dagger-hilt is throwing that error because dagger-hilt doesn't know how to create node repository. To let the dagger-hilt know, we need to have another class as a module for the repository. I will just go to there and create an object class another and repository module. We just put same annotation there, installing singleton component class and another mod annotation which is called module. Now we need to provide singleton and provide not repository, which will not repository, return not repository implementation. Okay, so there is another thing, in not repository implementation we will require an instance of the Firestore. So for that purpose we need to have a dependency there. I will write database Firestore. Now we need to have that dependency there as well. So we'll call database Firestore database. Now we have the repository instance inside the module. So the dagger-hilt knows now about the node repository. Now let's rerun it again and let's see if we are facing the error again or not. The Gradle build is finished successfully. Now the application is running as well. It means our implementation is correct, now working fine. In order to demonstrate like getting data from the repository, we need to have a very small test. For the test, I will just go there, repository, and return some data. Now we have the dummy data and we need to print that in the fragment. On the fragment, I will simply log that data. Now let's rerun it again, and to check the log I will make a search for that specific fragment. Project is run. So we are not getting data. To find out the reason, we need to have debug or to check the flow again. So the data is getting successfully, but the thing is, as I was previously, I connected my physical device, so my log is on that device, which is actually disconnected. Now I will change to the emulator and to see the log again. As you can see, the log is start appearing there. Now we are getting data from the repository through the view model in the fragment. Now one thing is, again we need to merge. We have the changes, so we need to create a separate branch for it and to push that changes in that branch and will merge into the master. Get checkout -b feature dagger-hilt implementation. Now I will push the changes to that branch. Once it's pushed, we will go to the GitHub repository in order to merge that branch. Now I will compare and pull the request We'll create the pull request and it will check for the merge conflicts. If there is no conflicts, we will get a green signal. Now I merge the